Very good evening to everyone, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. We are indeed very blessed to have the opportunity to join the second class for Let's Revisit the Life of the Buddha, conducted by Brother Leng Huat. So without further ado, we invite Brother Leng Huat with photo palms. Over to you, Brother Leng Huat.
Thank you, Sister Sumitra. Thank you so much. So, as usual, before we begin, let us recite the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. So, let's get another volunteer today. Let's see who we can get. Tachang, are you ready with the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts?
Okay, I can do it, but Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami, tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Over to you, Brother Leng Huat.
Okay, thank you, Sister Chang. Thank you. Okay, anyway, before that, also let's we can do some discussion while I will run through. Okay, to answer Brother Wing Choi's question last week, he was asking from which sutta do we get the life of the Buddha, isn't it, Brother Wing Choi? You can refer to the Mahapadana Sutta and the Acharya Bhuta Sutta. It tells you actually the life history of the Buddha. These 2 suttas will tell you apart. Of course. Like I've said, you can refer to the Chronicles of the Buddha, but these are all being taken from all these extracts from all the suttas. They call the extracts there and then they put it together. These are actually spoken by the Buddha. Spoken by the Buddha about his birth, initial birth. Last week we are talking about his birth last week, remember? Hold on. Last week we spoke about the Buddha walking 7 steps, remember? So all this account, you can get it from the Acharya Bhuta, or you can get it from the Mahapadana Sutta. That's where the Buddha says that this is their tradition. All the Buddhas are born this way. All the Buddhas are born this way. The Buddha was referring to the previous Buddhas when they were born. They also had a prediction from another previous monk, and then they walked the 7 steps. Remember, we are saying, so all these all these can be found in the, okay, where did we,
I'm here.
okay, so the reference, sutta that you were asking, last
Yeah.
week? Yeah. So if you read through, you can read through the Mahapadana Sutta or the Acharya Bhuta Sutta, then you find the vivid account. But these are all not complete. Like what I said, because all this life of the Buddha, they pick it from various suttas. Of course, they
Yeah.
compile it very nicely in the Chronicles of the Buddha. Chronicles of the Buddha. That is what we call the Buddha Wangsa. The 14th book of the Khuddaka Nikaya. That one is a complete thing. All the names of the disciples are there. But for this discussion, that's why I call it revisiting the life of the Buddha. So I don't go into much details, So will that answer your question, brother? Brother Venkoy?
Yes.
Okay, you read
Yeah,
through.
thank you.
You read through, you will find all those details. You see, sometimes when we go to the Mahayana temples during Vesak, they have got bathing of their little baby Siddhartha, remember? So sometimes I was saying to my friends, actually that can be also a Theravada practice, That is not only Mahayana, because if you refer to all these suttas, the life of the Buddha, of course, I did not describe it in detail in our discussion group. But if you read through in detail in the Mahapadana Sutta, you find that when the Buddha was born, he didn't touch the ground, So the devas came to receive him. Then he walked the 7 steps and declared that he's the elder of the world and this is his last birth and all that. These are all recorded and spoken by the Buddha, He said that these are the culture of all the Buddhas. They all will go through this process. And the mother will pass away within 7 days. The mother will pass away 7 days. This is the culture, he says. This is the tradition of the Buddha. So now, when he was born also, actually, 2 streams of water came to pour, one warm water and one cold water. They came onto him, poured onto him to wash him, So actually, the bathing on the baby Buddha can be reflective of that also, So it mustn't be so, dogmatic about practice. That is not a Theravada practice. Sometimes people say, but okay, fine, you put meaning into all these practices, so you can find good meanings actually, You can find very good meanings into this, Okay, so we have not gone to the stage where he was distracted by Mara, isn't it, sister? Have we covered this?
No, not. I think it's not there.
Okay. So we just went up to
We-
the
we
point
did-
where
We did mention about the 4 sides.
Alara Kalama and the Uddaka Ramaputta, isn't it? Did we cover that?
Not really. We
Actually-
talk about the 4 sides, but not until the after renunciation, I guess.
Okay.
I'm sorry because I don't have the previous recording.
I also don't have actually, So
We
the 4
stop-
sides also, Brother Wengchoy, you can refer to the Mahapadana Sutta. It is described clearly there also. All the 4 sides, actually, he saw it on the same day. That is why that suddenly struck him, that triggered him to want to find a way to end suffering. So that kind of triggered him. And then we say that he has gone to learn under Kalama, isn't it? Alara Kalama and Uddaka Ramaputta. We covered that, I think, Sister Sumitra? No? Brother Wingchoy, did we cover that?
Brother
Think-
Tan,
Yeah, we cover until probably when he start to take food again and his 5 colleagues left him.
Okay.
No, this one.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
actually, the
Okay.
last
Yes.
slide we saw
This one.
that night was self-mortification.
Okay.
And then we discuss about the
Okay.
significance of the.
Okay, I must also remind you all that actually I'm going through very briefly, because later I will focus more on the suttas because that's why I call it the revisiting the life of the Buddha. Now you see this picture where he did very severe self-mortification, he abstained from food. Now remember, He was abstaining from food, you know, and then his body became that thin. And these are all vividly described again in the suttas that I quoted to you. The suttas I quoted to you, they describe this very, very clearly, you know, how his stomach, you know, when he touches his stomach, he can feel his spine and all that. So this picture is actually very, very indicative. Okay. So this picture is actually very true, even to that level, you know. And then of course, when he ate, see the story. Okay, we go a little bit in detail, You see, when he was offered food, offered food by Sujata, now he decided to eat. The reason why he decided to eat, of course, on the superficial part, we say that you need food to support the body, you know, and then food to support the body. When the body is healthy, the mind is healthy. Of course, that is the basic reason. The other reason he has is, you know, this is if you read through the sutta, you know, the two suttas I quoted to you. What he says was, the Buddha says was, if the Buddha does not want to eat, and he continues to fast, what will happen, he says, is the devas will feed him, you know. The devas would feed him with celestial food through his pores. So he has no choice. Then that means he'll pretend that he's not eating, but he's being fed by the devas. So he doesn't want to do that. He is, okay, later we come to his quality. So he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be a hypocrite. You know, actually he's eating in private. The devas are feeding him through his pores. And then he pretend that he doesn't eat. So now that is one of the reasons why he decided to eat. Now, the second reason why he decided to eat was because, you don't forget, he has really achieved certain level of spiritual kind of achievement. So when he eats, it does not mean that he's craving for food, you know. He says that he is not craving. He needs that food for his body needs, and he takes it, and he doesn't crave for that food. So that is the reason why he takes, not because he enjoys the food or what, no, but the food is for his body needs. So he can control that because he doesn't have that kind of passion anymore with him. Then he realizes that when he was young, remember the plowing, the plowing ceremony we spoke about. During the plowing ceremony, remember that when they found him actually meditating under the tree, when the nurses left him under the tree, under the shade of the tree, and went to look at the ceremony. Then when they came back, he was actually meditating, and he achieved his first jhana. So there he realized that he has achieved his first jhana. So he doesn't crave, you know. So he realized that he can take the food without craving. He can take the food without passion, without having passion, without being passionate to the food. That's why he took the food. So those were the reasons by which, of course, his 5 friends could not understand him. The 5 friends could not understand him. Of course, they left him. They abandoned him and said that he has given up. Okay. Then he says that, okay, then you know the rest of the story, whereby Sujata offered him food, and then he ate, and then he threw the bowl into the stream and said, if it flows upstream, then I will achieve what I want to achieve. You know, if it flows downstream, means I will not achieve. So that was kind of thing that he did. Okay. And these are all described in the suttas. These are not man-made. These are all in the suttas that I quoted to you. Okay. Okay, good. And then, okay, the question that we have asked ourselves, how long did the Buddha sit under the Bodhi tree? Can anybody help us now? How long did the Buddha sit under the Bodhi tree, you think, before his enlightenment, you know? Can somebody give some wild guess? Because he said that you know, after he took the food, he sat under the Bodhi tree, then he became enlightened. Question here is, how long did he sit before he was enlightened? Anybody wants to give a wild guess?
One night.
Okay, 1 night. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So brother, you are not wrong actually, but because now they say that there are no evidence of how long he sat, but popular belief is 49 nights. Okay, Popular belief is 49 nights. But if you read now, I don't think that is popular belief. I think it's in the sutta. If you read the sutta carefully, the one that I give to you, Mahapadana Sutta, you see, with the Buddha said, he was very clear that he says that he took this food and that will be his last bath for the next 49 days, That will be his last bath and last food for the next 49 days. So, meaning to say that actually it's not a popular belief, like it is actually 49 days also. Like we can say that, like we can quote that. You can also conclude that he sat there for 49 days without moving, without eating, without doing anything. So 49 days. Because in the sutta it says that this will be my last meal and my last bath for the next 49 days. So that's why he sat there for 49 days. Then only he became enlightened. But before he was enlightened, then this is not the slide that I want again, but never mind, we will use this slide. I hope this slide can help me to remember my points. Okay, so before he was enlightened, of course, at the first stage, when at this stage, at this stage, Mara came. Mara told him, my dear prince, your body has sunken like that, you have become now skeleton thin, Why not you just go back to normal life and then you do your marriage law, you do your animal sacrifice, you do your sacrifices, and then you get your marriage law, prepare for your next life law. Why are you in torture yourself? You're going to die like that, because you are so thin and and all your body is drying up, your blood is drying up. But the Buddha challenged her. So the Buddha did not agree. Although Mara appeared to be very caring, but actually she has got ulterior motives. She's afraid the Buddha will be enlightened, you see. So she told him not to continue now. You are dying, he says, and life is so precious. Live your life better. Then you are a king. You can do a lot of sacrifices to the gods and the devas. Then you get a lot of marriage. You'll be reborn in the better world and all those things. But that is not what he wanted. He left home to find the way to end suffering. So he says no. So he continued. So he continued until then of course he's almost enlightened on that night. Now our brother says it's one night. Yes, one night he was enlightened, but he sat there for 49 days. So that's where Mara sent the 3 daughters there. These 3 daughters will represent actually our inner passion. Sometimes this Mara thing, I don't know whether I have it here. No. Okay, here we have. So in the final days before his enlightenment, the Buddha was tempted by demon Mara. Mara sent his armies and various temptations, and finally, as depicted here, a challenge that the Buddha must defend his claim of enlightenment. The Buddha touched the earth and called the earth a witness of his achievement. The touching of earth is seen as a significant gesture. So you see this Buddha statue, this kind of statue is quite common, whereby the Buddha's finger is touching the earth. So this is he's saying that the earth is my witness that he has achieved enlightenment. Okay, so this is important here. So Mara can also be understood not only as a figure in a story, but also as a representation of our inner temptation, mainly our ego. That obstructs the path to enlightenment. Therefore, overcoming Mara is equivalent to overcoming the self. These 3 ladies are actually our passion, our greed, our hatred, and our delusion. So Mara is a personification of evil, actually. So actually, these 3 daughters are also personification of our inner self, whereby we have got our greed in us, our hatred, our delusion. So that is playing around with him. That is the one that is disturbing him. So that 3 ladies, the beautiful daughters of Mara, actually, we can also say that is our inner temptation. He's trying to overcome all these distraction, our inner distraction. That is our passion, our attachment, and all those things that we have. So these are the things. So then again, Mara was sent after when these three daughters were not successful, these three daughters are inner threat of karma. Karma is sensual pleasures, arati is aversion or dislike, arouses strong feeling and all that. So now, after these three daughters did not achieve, Mara sent his army, his whole army with all riding on elephants and spears and arrows, all throwing at him, like attacking him. So that sometimes also we say that symbolize actually, yes, sometimes we can say that, yes, we have got external threat also. Sometimes in our life, most of the things are our inner threat. Most of the things are our inner self, our inner control. But there are sometimes external kind of hindrances to our progress. Not only our internal, but sometimes external hindrances. We do have people who are jealous of us, who come and attack us, people who does poison letters, people who like to gossip behind us, people who scandalize about us, things like that. So in life, there are also external threat. That is acceptable. So the Buddhists, so that one will symbolize our inner kind of threat. The three daughters and the army can also represent our external threat that we face in life. In life, our success, we do have external threats. So explain what is karma, refer to page number 9, Manual of Buddhism. If you have that book, you can refer. Okay, so we are not going much into this detail. So any question up to here? So having overcome all these challenges, all these hindrances from Mara, the three daughters, initially Mara came very nicely to tell him, you give up and go back to your normal life, and then when Mara did not succeed, then Mara sent the three daughters to distract him. When Mara did not succeed, Mara was very angry and came with the army of soldiers to attack him. Okay, so he overcome all these problems, and then he became enlightened. So it's Enlightenment Day. Okay, he was enlightened on the full moon day in the month of May. Okay, the dates are disputable. Dates are very disputable. Although we will say that for us today, we are still using the date of born at 623 BC. Left home and then enlightened at the age of 35. So if you minus that, you get this date. Okay, you get 588, isn't it? 8 and no. So this is not our date that we are using. Okay, this maybe I copied somewhere. Okay, so anyway, for us, we are still maintaining 623 as his 588 plus 35. Yeah, 623, correct? Yeah, okay. So this is the correct date. So we are still using 623. Although some historians are disputing the year he was born. But let us not waste too time on all this argument, no point. Let us focus on his teaching and let us practice his teaching. I think that's more important than arguing about when he was born. Okay, historians are doing that. They are digging out a lot of things, particularly in Gandhara. There are a lot of new things being excavated there. So, well, one day the findings in Gandhara might change the history of Buddhism. We have to be prepared for that also. There's a lot of research going on there. Gandhara is a very nice place to go to do research actually. Okay, so event on the night of enlightenment. This is found in the Mahasachaka Sutta. So first watch of the night, he developed the power of seeing and remembering previous lives. First he remembered one life, second, then two, then numerous, and then eventually the whole world cycle he could see. That is his power, that is his power. Second night, then there's a second watch, second watch of the night. This is all in one night. Like what brother said, he was enlightened in one night. True. The process is one night, but he said for 49 days. So in the night of enlightenment, the first watch, he developed the power of seeing and remembering his previous lives. First, he remembered one life, then two, then numerous, then 500, then 1,000, then the whole world cycle you could see. But he could not see the end. The second watch of the night, he was able to see death and rebirth of beings that are due to cause and effect. That's called dependent co-origination. He contemplated on paticca samuppada. The last night of the watch. Where am I? Okay, yeah, okay. The last night of the watch, he realized the noble truth of suffering, dukkha. Dukkha arya satchang, the noble truth of cause of suffering, dukkha samudayang arya satchang, and the noble truth to the cessation of suffering, there's dukkha nirodha arya satchang, and the noble truth to the way to end suffering, dukkha nirodha gamini patipada. Okay, so now he is eventually, no, so after this last watch, then he is a Samma Sambuddha. Okay, so whatever thing that we want to dispute on the dates and all that, whatever it is, he is still, we will all agree that it is on the full moon night. Okay, that one is not disputable. Dates can be disputable, all the historians are disputing, but they agree it is on the full moon night. That is not, they don't dispute on that. Okay, the dates they are disputing because of the Ashoka edict. Okay, a lot of King Ashoka has done a lot of those pillars with a lot of engraving and all that. So they found that King Ashoka was crowned as king about 200 and something, 100 years after the birth of the Buddha, So when they deducted that and all that, so they find that it doesn't coincide with 623. So that became one of the disputes. That is based on the evidence that they have from the King Ashoka's edict. And also when we say the Buddha is born in Lumbini, also actually sometimes it is also based on the edict of King Ashoka. He is the one who printed on these columns and said that he was born in Lumbini. But he was also explained in the sutta. So what was the Buddha's enlightenment? What is enlightenment all about? Okay, up to here, no questions. Okay, so then we were, okay, now what was the Buddha's enlightenment? The Buddha sought answers to the problem of suffering and the continual cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, which he witnessed all around him. He rejected the path of complete self-denial, asceticism, and also rejected the comfort of indulgence of his former life as a prince. He resolved to sit under the Bodhi tree and meditate on these issues until the answers to these problems became clear to him. So his revelation has been called the Four Noble Truths, a summation of the cause of human suffering and the possibility and the path to enlightenment for all beings. So that is his enlightenment. Okay? And then for his enlightenment, now, how do we describe the Buddha? What is a Buddha? What is a Buddha? Okay, we did not chant normally. Normally for our chanting class, we will also chant this Buddha Vandana. These are the virtues of the Buddha. So what is the Buddha? Okay, what is the Buddha? You can refer to this homage to the Buddha, this Buddha Vandana. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati. Okay, this actually what we are chanting actually has a lot of meaning. Like we always say, chanting is not a ritual. Chanting is not a ritual. Chanting are the teachings of the Buddha kept intact through chanting. The teachings of the Buddha are all intact. The life of the Buddha are all intact now because of the suttas. It is found in the sutta that we say Mahapadana Sutta or Acharya Bhuta Sutta. We can chant the suttas, So that's how the teachings are kept intact, is through chanting. In those days, the Buddha taught it by the word of mouth. It's called the Bhanaka system. So all these are kept intact through chanting. So all the teachings of the Buddha has been kept intact for the past 2,500 over years through this method of chanting. So now the virtues of the Buddha. Who is the Buddha? What is the Buddha? So remember, when we chant the Buddha Vandana, we say Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vidya Charana Sampanno Sugato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati. We are saying, actually, we are reciting the 9 virtues of the Buddha. We are reciting the 9 virtues of the Buddha. Okay, what are the 9 virtues of the Buddha? Number 1, Itipiso Bhagava, though he is a Bhagava. Number 1, he is an Arahang. Arahang or Arahan. Arahat is the actual word for Pali, but normally we say Arahan, which is actually a Sanskrit word. So now it is an Arahat or Arahang for this case, because of the grammatical usage. So it becomes like that. We are not going to talk about grammar today, but the stem word is called Arahat. Okay, so he's an Arahat, but in this particular stanza, we say Arahang because of grammatical usage. So he's the worthy one. So what is the Buddha? He has 9 virtues. Number 1, he is the worthy one. Number 2 is Samma Sambuddho. Arahang Samma Sambuddho. He is a fully enlightened one. Okay, so when we chant, we are reminding ourselves of his virtues. We say he's an worthy one, he's a fully enlightened one, and the Vidya Charana Sampanno, meaning that he has knowledge and conduct. Not only knowledge, Buddhism is about knowledge and conduct, practice. He's the one who is Vidya Charana Sampanno, he knows knowledge and conduct excellent. He's a Sugato. After that, he says Sugato. Sugato means he is a great speaker. He knows when to speak and when not to speak. He also actually challenged that Satchaka, who is actually a very well-known debater those days, very well-known Niganta debater. So one day he came to see the Buddha, and then the Buddha challenged him also. So of course the Buddha won. So he respected the Buddha after that. So he's also known as Sugato, means as a great speaker. He knows when to speak, he knows how to speak, he knows when to keep quiet. Okay, so he's known as a Sugato. So these are his virtues, his qualities. He's also a Loka Vidu. Loka Vidu means knower of the worlds. He knows the world. Okay, the world we can explain as he knows the 3 world, the world of the Brahma, world of the Devas and Earths, and he also knows about the suffering world, the 4 lower realms. He knows about 31 planes of existence. He knows of the worlds. Also, he knows also the whole universe and all those things. So he's also known as Loka Vidu. Okay, so when we chant Loka Vidu means we are saying that he's the knower of the worlds. And then we say Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati. He's the best teacher who can bring the wayward back to fold. What do you mean by he's the best teacher? See, Angulimala is a serial killer who has killed 999 victims already. Last one, but yet the Buddha can transform him and he became an Arahant. So the Buddha is known as a best teacher who can bring the wayward back to the fold. That's only one example, many others. So the Buddha is the best teacher. So he's able to bring people to move to the proper life, to a good life. And then don't forget, Angulimala also became an Arahant. Although he was a serial killer, he still became an Arahant. When the Buddha taught him, then the Buddha is also known as Satta Deva Manusanang. Satta Deva Manusanang, meaning he is the teacher of gods and men. The Buddha is also known as a teacher of gods and men. Why? Because he went to Tavatimsa heaven to teach them the Abhidhamma. Correct? And then most of the time, if you read the Mangala Sutta, it's because the Devas there in Tavatimsa heaven, Lord Saka to send his men over to see, you go and see the Buddha and ask him, these people are human beings, are all asking for, all wants to be peaceful, all wants macam-macam things, he said, what is the best blessing actually? So Lord Saka is also confused. in the Mangala Sutta. So Lord Saka said he sent one of his men there, one of his devas, a very powerful devas, came down to see, ask the Buddha, what is the best blessing? What are the best blessings? That's when the Buddha told them, that is addressed in the Mangala Sutta. Yeah. So the Buddha is known as also the teachers of God and men. Lord Saka is his great supporter. Lord Saka is Tikong. And then also, remember, he went up to Tavating 7 and taught Abhidhamma to all the devas and his mother. Okay. So he's known as a teacher of gods and men. Satta Deva Manusana. Manusa, you know lah, Manusya. Okay. Deva means, you know lah, devas or the angels. Okay. So Satta Deva Manusanang. Okay. And then he's also known as a Buddha. Again, last word is Buddha. That means he knows the Four Noble Truths. He's a founder. He founded the Four Noble Truths again. And then he's a Bhagava. He's endowed with special powers. So these are the 9 qualities of the Buddha. So when we chant this, I will recite for you again because I love chanting very much. Iti piso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vidya Charana Sampanno Sukato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati. You can put a T here. Normally, at ending of any stanzas, there's a T, the T-I, T, otherwise Buddha Bhagava, but normally ending we say T, okay? Okay, so these are the 9 qualities of the Buddha. So now we as Buddhists, when we recite this, we must also try to be like him, we must also practice all these kind of things. We must emulate his character. We must try to emulate his character. We have explained to you a little bit here. Arahang means the Buddha has eradicated all the defilements. Defilements in plain language means bad thoughts, bad reaction, like anger, anxiety, hatred, frustration, stress, depression, ignorance, jealousy, gossip, attachment, dogmatism, and so on. So the Buddha has got rid of all this. And the Buddha, the wonderful part about him, even in secret, he does no evil. He is not that hypocrite who does certain things behind us. No, he does not do such things. He does in front of you the same thing as what he do behind you. So that's why we have to be inspired with these qualities. So when we chant this Itipiso, we try to emulate his character. We try slowly. So we say Sama Sambuddho, you know, because we have discussed about Sama Sambuddho, meaning that he is fully enlightened without a teacher. Okay? He is enlightened without a teacher, and this is the sutta which we will discuss. I think in next lesson we will spend more time on the suttas. Yeah. Okay. So basically, okay, in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, that is where he says that he has not learned this from anybody. Okay, so we will go through that sutta later. So he says that he has not learned it from anybody. This is all from him, all his own findings lah. So example, we can quote idang dukkang arya satchanti me bhikkave puppe ananusute sudhammesu Chakung udapadi, jnanang udapadi, panya udapadi, vijja udapadi, aloko udapadi. The Buddha says the meaning is this suffering is the noble truth. Okay? This suffering is a noble truth. There arose in me monks concerning things never heard before. You see, he says never heard before. This is not what he copied from people. He did not borrow this from anything. This is not a message from any devas or any brahmas or any superior beings. He says these things have never been heard before. The truth, the noble truth of suffering has never been heard before. Okay, meaning to say that he founded this truth. Okay, not he invented this truth exists in the world, but he found it. Again, because all the Buddhas will preach the same thing. Okay, so such was the vision. Okay, he says such was the vision, the knowledge, the wisdom, the science, and the light. Okay, or you can also quote the Arya Pariya Sena Sutta, Na me acharya atti. a teacher I have not. Acharya is teacher, noble one lah, you know. Acharya is a great teacher lah. Huh? So not me, no, not me, a teacher not. Okay, so their grammar and our grammar is different lah. So in English, a teacher I have not. Here said not me, not me, teacher not. Okay, so things are different lah. Huh? Okay, okay, never mind that part. Okay, so
Brother,
yes.
This, there's, I think maybe there's some, it could be an error. Such was the vision, the knowledge,
Yeah.
the wisdom, the insight, not science, insight.
Insight. Okay, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. We will go through word for word lah. Okay. Jnanang Udapadi. Hold on. Let me get this because this is blocking me. Okay.
Udapadi, Vijja, Udapadi.
Okay. So, okay, Jnanang, what does it says here is vision. Correct?
The vision, yes,
Panya is the knowledge.
yes,
Vijja is the wisdom.
yes.
Aloko Udapadi is a science. Okay, so in short, the stanza is incomplete, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the stanza is incomplete. Okay, good. Okay, so brother has highlighted that the stanza in Pali is not complete. Let me see if I can remember the Mali. Let me recite, then probably I will come back with the end words. Idang dukkang arya sachanti me bhikkave puppe ananusute sudammesu chakung udapadi jnanang udapadi panya udapadi vijja udapadi aloko udapadi. I think it's complete, brother.
Yeah, it's complete. What I'm
Yeah.
saying, I think one book states here wisdom
Okay, the insight.
in English, the insight.
Okay. Insight, maybe you can combine the knowledge and the wisdom as insight lah.
Mhm.
Because knowledge is not wisdom. Wisdom is not knowledge. Correct?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
if you combine this, Vijja maybe is more insight lah. Okay? Vijja is the opposite of ignorance is Vijja.
Mm.
Correct?
It's
So we don't say knowledge is wisdom. Neither would we say wisdom is knowledge. So
Mhm.
maybe some books will interpret Vijja as insight. Fine, we can accept that, brother. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
Can. No, I thought this
The
Pali
sign-
stanza was not accurate. So I chant. Okay, it's accurate lah. Pali stanza is accurate. Anyway, the next time we meet, we probably will cover this in detail.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So insight can be used, brother. Insight, I think they will combine knowledge and wisdom lah. I mean, I will look at it that way lah. Okay, so this one is this is the wrong. We don't this anymore. We have finished this, isn't it, lah? Vijja Charana, we have finished. Okay, we don't do local. We don't have to say. Okay, so now we briefly. Okay, so we have covered our Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Actually, after that, I should have covered for you. Okay, we have gone through the Arahang and all that. So you know the qualities of the Buddha. Why I put this in is that we can discuss these 31 planes later. We just briefly touch on it lah. The idea is it okay? Why I have this quickly? I will just cover for it quickly. What is 31 plane of existence here lah? The importance here is when the Buddha was enlightened. When the Buddha was enlightened, we have discussed the 7 qualities lah. Now, he did not go out to preach immediately. We all know that. So I have here the 7 weeks of what he did. 7 weeks of what he did. I think I have it here. Okay. The first week after his enlightenment, he continued to sit under the Bodhi tree. So during the first week after enlightenment, that means the 50th week, he sat under the Bodhi tree, experiencing the happiness of freedom and peace. He was free from disturbing thoughts, calm and blissful. So that is enlightenment. Your thoughts are all very peaceful, very calm, and nothing disturb you anymore. Okay. For the second week, First week, he sat under the Bodhi tree experiencing enlightenment. Second week, he took a few steps. Of course, he stood up, he went away from the tree, and he gazed at the tree for 1 week. He was gazing at the tree without moving his eyes as he meditated on the Bodhi tree. Okay, and for following this example, it is the custom of Buddhists to pay respect not only to the original Bodhi tree, but also the descendants of the Bodhi tree. They still thrive today. So this is actually, many of us say that the first lesson we learn from the Buddha is grateful. Is gratefulness or gratitude. The Buddha was very grateful to the Bodhi tree. The Bodhi tree that sheltered him 49 days during the rain and the shine and all those things, during good weather conditions, the Bodhi trees actually gave him that shelter. So he was very grateful to the Bodhi tree. So that's why 1 week he gazed at the Bodhi tree. He took a few steps back and he gazed at the Bodhi tree without blinking his eye for 1 week. And for us, we interpret that as his first lesson to us is gratefulness. Buddhists must be grateful people. In the Katanyu Sutta, the Buddha says that people who are grateful are actually not reliable. Grateful people are reliable people. That's what the Buddha says. In the Katanyu Sutta, this is again, I quote to you, is the Katanyu Sutta, the Buddha says that unreliable people are not grateful, or ungrateful people are not reliable. So be careful. So that's why the Buddha taught us that the first thing he taught us is actually gratefulness. He was grateful to the tree. Then after the third week, in the third week, the Buddha saw that he saw through his mind's eye that the devas in heaven were not sure whether he's attained enlightenment or not. To prove his enlightenment, the Buddha created a golden bridge in the air and walked up and down for a whole week. Okay, he walked up and down for the whole week because he projected a golden bridge. Okay, this will answer the questions asked by Sister Pona, I think, isn't it? The Buddha sometimes have to use some of his psychic power. Sometimes he uses the psychic power for the bigger good to convince people. But he doesn't use this, advises people not to use this to attract people to follow your religion. He's against that. But there are times when he have used this. So as we continue the life of the Buddha, you will notice that there are few instances where the Buddha actually showed his psychic power. But not to boast about it, not to win people's heart, but just to achieve a bigger good. Okay, so for this case, the devas are giving dispute, thinking whether he's enlightened or not. Then he showed them that he's actually enlightened again. Then the fourth week, he did a jewel chamber. In the fourth week, he created a beautiful jewel chamber and sitting inside it, meditated on what is known as the detailed teaching Abhidhamma. So he taught the Abhidhamma. He learned, he meditated on the Abhidhamma on the fourth week in the jewel chamber. His mind and body were so purified that 6 colors ray came out of his body: blue, yellow, red, white, orange, and mixture of these 5. This is our Buddhist color. So today, these 6 colors make the Buddhist flag. Okay, this I think you will read yourself. Yellow for holiness, white for purity, blue for confidence, red for wisdom, orange for desirelessness. So the mixed color represent all these noble qualities. So the 3 girls appeared again, they say, during his 5th week. They tried to disturb him again. Hopefully they can distract him again, but they didn't succeed, of course. So on the 6th week, the Muchilinda tree, actually the snake, the Muchilinda is a snake. What's a Muchilinda tree? Okay, this is badly written. Okay, this is supposed to be this Muchilinda is the king cobra. It rained heavily and the huge king cobra came out and coiled his body 7 times around the Buddha to keep him warm and place his hood over the Buddha's head to protect him from the rain. So after the 7 days, the rain stopped and the snake changed into a young man who paid his respects to the Buddha. The Buddha then said, "Happy are they who are contented. Happiness is for those who hear and know the truth. Happy are they who have goodwill in this world towards all sentient beings. Happy are they who have no attachment and pass beyond sense desire. The disappearance of the word I am is indeed the highest happiness." I am is talking about yourselves, the self in us. which is actually later maybe we will touch a bit on it on the Panchakandas lah. We are made out of Panchakandas lah. Then during the 7th week, the Buddha meditated under the Raja Rayatana tree. On the 50th morning. 50th morning is the 8th week lah. After 7 weeks of fasting, 2 merchants came to his presence and they are called. Okay, these 2 merchants are his first 2 lay disciples. They are called Tapusa and Balika. Okay, they had a dream lah. They had a dream that their ancestors came and told them that you go and pay respect. There's a Buddha now on earth. There's somebody who's so powerful, so great. Go and pay respect to him. Then these 2 people they are Burmese actually. They are merchants from Burma lah. So when they heard this from their ancestors, they dreamt lah. So they went quickly to look for the Buddha, and then they offered dana to the Buddha lah. And then they asked for a souvenir. The Buddha just took some of his head and pull out some hair and give to them lah. And these hair relics are now kept in what you call the Shwedagon Pagoda in Rangoon. I don't know how many of you have been there. But if you go to Shwedagon Pagoda in Rangoon, it is believed that the Buddha's hair has been actually in the big, huge pagoda, the Chetia. Very beautiful Chetia there. And then if you go there, you find that it's very serene, very peaceful. That is my experience also. Like very peaceful. If you go there in the evening, you see the golden Chetia. It's beautiful. With the setting sun, you see it very beautiful. If you have a chance to go, you should go. Go to Burma. You must go to the Shwedagon Pagoda in Rangoon. Okay, then after the 7th week, you know what to do. 7th week, then he started to walk. He walked 1 week to look for his friends. Now, okay, here invitation to expound the Dhamma. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. After 7 weeks, the Buddha was contemplating to find in this world, gods, Maras, Brahmas, or even Brahmin, or an ascetic with whom the Buddha could spend time improving or perfecting his morality, his sila, his concentration, samadhi, and his wisdom, panya. Emancipation, vimutti. Now, he could not find any superior than him in those qualities. He was thinking that then he should spend time with the Dhamma. He realized himself. Then Brahma Sahampati. Sahampati quickly requested the Buddha to expound the Dhamma. The Buddha knew that the Dhamma was difficult to understand by one with dust in the eyes. The Buddha realized that there are some with little eyes in the eyes, and first thought of his 2 teachers, Alara Kalama and Udaka Ramaputta, who were also wise and should be able to understand his Dhamma. However, they already passed away and they are in the Arupa Loka and unable to benefit from his teachings. Then the Buddha thought of his 5 friends who were training with him earlier, namely Kondanya, Badya, Vapa, Mahanama, Assaji. People have asked this question now, why must Brahma Sahampati approach the Buddha? If Buddha is fully enlightened, he should know that there are people who can understand what. Why must Brahma Sahampati go and appeal to the Buddha? If he's fully enlightened, he should know better what. Why should he wait until Brahma Sahampati has to go and see him and tell him, please go and don't keep it to yourself. Now, what would have happened if the Buddha did not teach? Then he will become a Pachaka Buddha. Don't forget, that's why we learned earlier. We learned earlier what are Arahants, what is Arahan, and what are Pachaka Buddhas, and what are Samma Sambuddha. Pachaka Buddhas are also fully enlightened, but he doesn't go out and teach. So now here, if the Buddha did not go out to teach, he would have become a Pachaka Buddha. Then he's not a Samma Sambuddha. Right? Because he would have kept it to himself. So his doctrine will not be heard by us. Okay? So that is why we define for you what's an Arahan, what's Samma Sambuddha, what is a Pachaka Buddha. So it's clear that part. So now he is not a Pachaka Buddha because he went to teach. Okay? Now, again, Why Brahma Sahampati must go and ask him to go? Okay, this is interesting, lah. Why must Sampati? Why must Brahma Sampati? Because somebody was saying, if he's fully enlightened, why does he need Brahma Sampati to go and ask him to go and teach? He should know what. True lah. Okay, so anybody wants to guess? So Stacey, you want to guess? Why must Brahma Sampati go and approach him and ask him to go and teach? Why?
I don't know.
Huh? So anybody wants to guess?
I think the Buddha was contemplating whether to teach or not, because the knowledge that he has founded or he has acquired is too deep, too much, and is not easily understandable. So, but he hasn't given up the thought of not teaching, but he was still contemplating. When Sahampati came to clear, the message is teach those who can understand. Not all can understand, but there are a lot of people who will not be able to understand. So this, the Buddha has to sort it out.
Okay, very true, brother. Yes, because he feels that his Dhamma is a bit difficult for people to understand. Yes, agreed. But why he did not go and teach, and why must Sampati remind him? Because that's why, okay, this is for those sitting for the exam. This is also a reason that why we say that he is omniscient. Now, in some school of thought, omniscient means they know everything, at once. Okay? In the Theravada school of thought, omniscient does not mean that he knows all things simultaneously. He needs, if he wants to know, he will know. Okay, that is the difference with our omniscient and the Mahayana omniscient. Now, Mahayana omniscient, that means they say that he's like a almighty God. He knows everything, but not true lah. Because the Buddha says that our mind can only work one thing at a time. This multitasking doesn't happen actually, but because your mind frequency goes so fast that you switch thoughts here and there, that it becomes like multitasking. Actually, it's one thing at a time. It becomes like multitasking because our mind fluctuates very fast. It goes up and down 16 times per second, so it goes very fast. So that is why we call it multitasking. But actually, our mind is really capable of one thing at a time. So he is omniscient, yes, but does not mean that he knows everything simultaneously. Doesn't mean that he can know everything at once. There are instances where the Buddha went out for alms and got nothing. He came back with his alms bowl kosong. Right? If he knows he's going to get nothing, why does he want to go out? So the Buddha doesn't spend all these kind of little things. Everything he must go and investigate with his psychic power. Where necessary, where he wants to, he can. He can know everything, but not all simultaneously. That is where we can demonstrate. This is one of the way to demonstrate that our definition of omniscient is the knowledge he has is omniscient. He has the omniscient power, but it does not, he cannot do it all simultaneously. One at a time, I can't remember which sutta this is from, but I will tell you next week if I remember. So that is also one of the way to define omniscient. So we can say that the Buddha definitely does not know everything simultaneously. Okay, he needs Brahma Sampati to remind him. Then with his psychic power, he went to survey the world and he found that yes, there are many people like us who can try to understand his Dhamma. So that was why he came out to teach. Correct? Because he knew through his psychic power that there are many people who will benefit from his teaching. Okay? So that's why he went. And then the other thing is, that is why, okay, now we will go back to this 31 planes of existence. So when the Buddha wanted to go and teach, of course, he wants to find people who are spiritually very high level to be able to understand his Dhamma. And which is very simple, the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. We say it's simple, but when we read, when we study the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, we will know that it is not so simple. Because the Buddha says that after he did not claim to be enlightened, before he understood the Four Noble Truths in the 12 aspects or 12 modes. He only claimed that he was enlightened after he fully understood the Four Noble Truths in the 12 aspects. Okay? Now, so Four Noble Truths is not easy, you know. We know, but we have not put it to full practice. We have not fully realized. The second two stages, we are still far from there. We know, yes, truth or suffering, but we are still attached. We are still going through the samsara because we have not put practice. We have not fully realized the attachment, the detachment. Okay, so that's why, okay. So now, when the Buddha wanted to teach, of course, he was thinking of his first two teachers. They are ready to understand. The Buddha thinks, okay, Alara Kalama should be able to understand my Dhamma, my Four Noble Truths and my Eightfold Path. Udaka Ramaputta should understand, but unfortunately, then through his psychic power, you see, he's omniscient, he has got a psychic power. So he surveyed and he found that these two gentlemen of these two teachers have already passed away. But he can still teach them one. Correct? But unfortunately, they are in the Arupa Loka, okay, immaterial world. That is the level 28, 29, 30, 31. These four levels of Arupa Loka is the level of consciousness alone. Consciousness without the body. Without the body means without the faculties to hear, to see, to smell, to touch, to taste. So with these faculties not there, they will never be able to listen to the Dhamma. Okay? So that's why the Buddha, the Buddha regretted that these two masters are not there. Since they are in Arupa Loka, there's no way I can teach them there. Correct? So the Buddha did not teach them. So these two gentlemen is still stuck there. His two teachers are still stuck in the Arupa Loka, we call it. It is the immaterial world. Okay? And then another world that is actually not able to benefit. When you learn the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, you notice that we will skip this level called Asanya Sutta. I'm not sure where's Asanya Sutta. Okay, Asanya Rupa. There is another level here. It is called the Asanya Rupa, whereby clear-sighted, no, beautiful, there was no, untouched, there was no, not falling away, no, unconscious being. Okay, I think this is the one. I think this unconscious being is Asanya Sutta, Asanya Rupa. I think so. Asanya, okay, if not this, will be which one? Okay, the reason is Asanya means they have the body but no consciousness. They have the body with no consciousness. Also, they cannot benefit from the sutta. They cannot benefit from the teachings of the Buddha because they are only body there, no mind. So the asanya means no sanya . No sanya means no consciousness only body . But in English, I don't know which one, but I think it's the one unconscious, maybe they call it . Because in English, they interpret all the way, so I won't understand. Okay, anyway, the term is Asanya Sutta. So that means they don't have the sanya. That means they don't have the consciousness. They only have the body there. The Arupa Loka only have consciousness, no body. Also cannot benefit. Asanya Sutta got body, no consciousness. Also cannot benefit . So these 5 realms will not benefit the teachings of the Buddha. Okay? Of course, the lower realms also cannot benefit . The lower realms are because they are all suffering there. Correct? The 4 lower realms, the Arupa Loka, the Avicii hell, they're all burning every day, no chance to learn . If they're born as an animal, also no chance to learn the Dhamma. If they're born as hungry ghosts, also no chance to learn the Dhamma. They're hungry all the time. Correct? If they're born in the Asura realm, also cannot benefit. They're fighting all the time, jealous all the time, jealousy and fighting all the time. So this lower realm also cannot benefit. So out of the 31 planes, 4 lower one cannot benefit, 4 top one cannot benefit. You minus 8 law, minus 8 plus Asanya realm, minus 9 law. So there are only 22 realms that can benefit . Okay. So we are among the 22 realms that can benefit the teachings of the Buddha. So that's why I had it inserted somewhere . Okay. So for that reason, he did not go and teach them. Then he thought that the best is to go and teach his 5 friends, no? So the next best option are his 5 friends who practice with him also lah. Okay, so we have done that, and then we have also talked about the first 2 lay disciples. So these 2 lay disciples, this Balika and Tapusa, they are believed to be from Myanmar lah. So they became lay Buddhists. They became his lay followers. And at that time, they only took 2 refuge lah. There's no 3 refuge. There's no Sangha yet. So they only took Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, no Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Only 2 lah. So they became the disciple. They became the lay preacher of the Buddha, lay disciples of the Buddha lah. Then he taught his 5 friends lah. Then on the way to look for his 5 friends, okay, on the way to look for his 5 friends, these are the names that sometimes you will hear people mentioning. That's why I just briefly tell you the names. I'm not going into much details, but of course, if there are a lot of details. He met us one ascetic called Upaka. Upaka is a naked ascetic lah, so he saw the Buddha, but you see how he wasted the opportunity lah. Pure and clean is your complexion, he told the Buddha lah. On account of whom has your renunciation been made, friend? Who is your teacher? Whose doctrine do you profess? So this man saw the Buddha so different. He says, no, you look so serene, so clean. Who's your teacher? What's the doctrine? After the Buddha explained to him, the Buddha replied, all have I overcome. All do I know. From all am I detached and have I renounced. Wholly absorbed am I in the destruction of craving. Having comprehended all by myself, whom shall I call my teacher? No teacher have I. So the Buddha says, I do not have a teacher. All these I experienced myself. I expounded it all myself. Okay? And equal to me there is not. In the world, including gods, there is no rival to me. Indeed, an Arhan am I in this world. An unsurpassed teacher am I. Alone am I, the all enlightened. Cool and the peace am I. To establish the will of the Dhamma. To the city of Kasi I go. In this blind world, I shall beat the drum of deathlessness. So that's how he says. But this poor gentleman does not believe the Buddha. So this poor gentleman wasted his chance of being the first disciple of the Buddha. The first Sangha disciple of the Buddha. So he walked away. He didn't believe the Buddha. I say this fellow is talking nonsense. What is he? No teacher, no nothing, So he didn't benefit. So this first gentleman called Upaka wasted his chance. Then, friend, do you admit that you are an Arahant, a limitless conqueror? Queried Upaka. Like me are conquerors who have attained to the destruction of defilement. All the evil conditions have I conquered. Hence, Upaka, I am called a conqueror, replied the Buddha. It may be so, friend, Upaka curtly remarked, and nodding his head, turned in by the road and departed. He cabut. He said this fellow bluffing. So he wasted his opportunity. So unperturbed by his first rebuff, the Buddha journeyed from place to place and arrived in due course at the deer park in Varanasi. The Varanasi. Okay. So now the Buddha took 1 week to walk, teach, go and see his friend. So these kind of things are we must be inspired. We must be inspired by the fact that the Buddha had to walk 1 week all by himself, to look for his friends to share the Dhamma. Right? So we must be inspired by his determination. So that's why we say that when we chant and we talk about the Buddha, we must reflect on all this. So let this all be our inspiration. He has to walk, I think, about 200 over kilometers, I think. Then 1 week to walk there, 1 week through the jungle, through the forest himself, all by himself, to look for his friends. Then 1 week later, only he met his friend on the full moon night again. And this full moon night is 8 weeks from from the night the Buddha was enlightened, on the full moon night also. So 8 weeks after the Vesak is the entry of Vasa. But the Buddha, after teaching them, went for his retreat. The next day, he went for his retreat. His 3 months rain retreat, we call it Vasa. Okay, I hope you all are familiar with this wisdom Vasa. Now is a Vasa season, everybody having the Vasa now. Okay, so that is where he met his 5 friends. Initially, the 5 friends saw him and say, yeah, this fella come and kachau again, our floor, you want to see him? Right, no point, but he had given up. Now, so they actually went away from him, but then they realized that he looks different, They realized that, but somehow or other our friend looks different. He looks more serene, bright, and he's glowing and all that, because he's enlightened. So then they were kind of, I said, okay, give me second chance. He looks so different. So, okay, then they welcome him and let him sit and tell him what have you got to tell us. And that's where the Buddha expounded his first teaching called the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. We hope to cover that. We will take at least one whole lesson on that the next time we meet. That is going to be, okay, the next time we meet will be 4 weeks away, because I'm going for holidays actually. Somehow or other, this teaching schedule is disrupted because I have to join my family for holidays. Okay, so we will be off for 4 weeks. We'll be off for 4 weeks and then we'll be back. And then when we are back, we will probably talk about Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta first. Then we will continue our journey until we meet the Kassapa brothers. Then we will talk about the Arya Pariyaya Sutta. All is burning Sutta. Okay. So then the Buddha went to see his friends, and then they finally accepted him, and that is how it started his first preaching. He taught them the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, which is the gist of the Buddha's teaching, which is all about the 4 Noble Truths and the 8-fold path. And these are not simple, like what I said earlier. Don't say that we know this. We have not penetrated this. We have not put enough practice, and we have not fully realized the 4 Noble Truths. Here the Buddha says he did not claim to be enlightened until he understood the 4 Noble Truths in the 12th aspect. Okay, so we will cover that later. And I think we will just maybe spend the next 10 minutes with some bit of question and answers or things like that. Or you may continue 4 Noble Truths. I think we'll keep it. We keep it for the next season. Okay. We will have to, I must apologize that it's slightly disrupted because I'll be going for holidays for 4 weeks. So we will continue our session again after 4 weeks. I'm sorry for the disruption actually. Okay, so do you have any questions? So Sister Pona, you ask about the psychic powers and all that. So slowly, you will understand. So the Buddha used, but not for that purpose of attracting people. So now you saw for the first time the Buddha also used. The Buddha used, so it's not that it is completely dogmatic, you cannot use. No, but the Buddha doesn't allow people to use this to convert people. Don't show them power and don't tell them about mind reading and then teach them a bit of palm reading and then make them follow you, That's what the Buddha doesn't agree.
Why must there be a prediction of the next Buddha?
That is okay. If you read the sutta that I told you, the Mahapadana Sutta, it tells you that the Buddha says that is the Buddha's tradition. The Buddha's tradition is there must be a prediction. And this is not put by people. This is what the Buddha says, that this is tradition, and that the baby Buddha, the baby Siddhartha, the baby who is born, will also walk 7 steps, and will also declare that I am the elder, I am the supreme in the world, and that I will have no more rebirth. These were spoken by the Buddha. The Buddha says Yes, the Buddha didn't say that. He said that. Says all the Buddha said that. He remembered because you see the Buddha can visit life backwards, huh? So he revisited the previous Buddha and knew that they were born that way. So that is the tradition. So I can only tell you that if you refer to the sutta, it says that that is our tradition. That when somebody wants to be a Sama Sambuddha, he must have been predicted by the previous Buddha. That is the tradition. That is in the sutta. Please look up for the Mahapadana Sutta. Mahapadana Sutta. I don't think we will go through that because actually it's a beautiful sutta also. All suttas are good, but if I talk about the Aditya Pariyaya Sutta also, indirectly, we will also indirectly, it is quite similar in a way. We talk about your self-restraint and all those things. We'll come to that later on.
Brother Tan.
Yeah.
I would like to know, under the Buddha Vandana, we have the qualities of the Buddha. One is, of course, Arahan, and then we got Sama Sambuddha.
Yeah.
And then we got Buddha.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the difference between this Sama Sambuddha and Buddha?
Yeah, but here is defined as Sama Sambuddha. We know lah. Okay, Sama Sambuddha. We say that that means he's fully enlightened. Nobody teaches him and all that lah. Correct? And then if so Buddha, we say that I understand you. Many are repeated lah. Arahan is also repeated in a way lah. Correct.
Okay, Arahan, we know Arahan attained enlightenment under the teaching of a Buddha.
Yes.
So Buddha, to me, I understood it as someone who realized the truth by himself.
Yes.
It's interesting to see your slide says that the Buddha there you put as someone who realized or understood the Four Noble Truths.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
So
okay.
I'm just still not very clear about the difference between Sama Sambuddha and Buddha or Buddha.
Okay, I will go to the slide, brother, because I skipped that for you all. Sometimes I go a bit. Hold on. Can you see, brother, now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm screen sharing now. Okay, can you see? Okay. I'm surprised I know to do this also. Okay, so the 9 qualities of the Buddha, I skipped it just now. I went very fast. We say there is an Arahan, is the worthy one. It's a Sama Sambuddha, is a fully enlightened one. Vidya Charana Sampanno, you have no problem. It's knowledge and conduct. Sugato, great speaker, knows when to speak and how to speak, when to be quiet. Is a Loka Vidu, means know of the world. Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati, best teacher who can bring the wayward back to fold. Satta Manusana, the teacher of gods and men. Satta Deva Manusanang, and Buddha. Buddha, we say he knows the Four Noble Truths, and Bhagava is endowed with special powers. Okay, now we go to the next slide. Okay. Nope, sorry. Okay, Loka Vidu, you are more interested in the Sugato, you okay, brother?
Sugato also another thing, because Sugato, quite a lot of books we read, they just put it as a well-gone one.
Yeah, I understand.
The way you put it is very interesting. Great speaker. Seldom see that in books.
Yeah. Okay, many opinions, brother, actually sometimes, because does come one or does gone one. That's another big argument also, Is it, where's the word? Let me see. Okay, you see, some people say it is a does come one, but if you look at the word properly, it is also a does gone one, Suagato. So it is agato means does come one, does gone one. So sometimes both are correct, because the Pali interpretation, sometimes the Pali grammar is such when they sometimes remove A and the B's. That one you have to study in very much detail. I have not gone to that level of understanding that. Okay. Okay, anyway. So some people say Das Gamwan, Das Gonwan. I think that one is more, if I'm not mistaken, is more the Sanskrit version. I'm not sure, brother. I'm not sure. I will not want to claim that. But yes, there are some books they say Das Gamwan, and some say Das Gonwan. Don't say come only, can gone also. Okay. Su Agato or Sugato. Okay. Okay. But I put here as a great speaker, which also some books say is a great speaker. Because you see, if you refer to the Jaya Mangala Gata, he also defeated the great debater called Sachaka. Sachaka is a very great debater. He is very well known during that time. He's a Niganta. Niganta means, the Jains. And he is very powerful. He can go and debate with anybody and outspeak everybody. He can outspeak everybody. So he's a very powerful man. So one day he came to see the Buddha. And then that you can find that in the, I think that is called in the Mahasachaka Sutta. In the Mahasachaka Sutta, I think. Yes, correct. Mahasachaka Sutta, you will find that the Buddha out debated him. And then he respected the Buddha when he asked about the body and the mind. Okay. I wanted to actually go through with you all today, but I think that is not in my, I did not say that I want to discuss on that. But never mind, when we talk about the all burning, I will touch here and there a bit for you. So now, the Buddha outbid Sachaka, who was a great debater in those days. So also, you see, in the Jaya Mangala Gata, we also have that stanza, that Sachaka, the Buddha defeated Sachaka. So now, he is also a good speaker. In order to beat Sachaka, he must be a great speaker. Where is the stanza? Sachang vihaya mati Sachakavada ketung. So this is the haughty Sachaka who ignored the truth, was like a banner of controversy. So this Sachaka is a very nuisance. He goes around, he's attacking everybody on, particularly Buddhism, attacking until the Buddha confronted him. So he lost to the Buddha because they were talking about mind and body. So he insulted the Buddha many times. He see, sometimes we don't think that the Buddha doesn't, see, what happened here is they always think that the Buddha doesn't feel pain. Say, you don't feel pain, or you can talk, you don't feel pain. But many times he insulted the Buddha that way. But the Buddha says, no, that I don't feel pain, Who says I don't feel pain? I feel pain. But I don't let that pain disturb me. I don't let that pain disturb me. That's all. So it is painful. I know when I was hungry, I was feeling the pain. When the Buddha was skin bone, bone thin. He felt the pain, the ping of hunger he felt, but he did not allow this to disturb him. So also for pleasures, So when the Buddha ate, you think it's a pleasure? No, he doesn't let that pleasure disturb him. He doesn't let the pleasure turn into passion. Then that passion turns into liking. Then liking turns become to attachment. He doesn't allow that to spread. He kept it there. Pain, he left it there. Pleasure, he left it there. That's all. So that is why he explained to that fellow, he explained to Sachaka that, so until Sachaka gave up and lost to him. And then Sachaka finally told him this. When I speak to the other 6 top teachers, they get angry with me. I make them angry. Their face all turn red. But I make you angry, your face all turn red. Still glowing. So I respect you. So that's how Sachaka lost to him. So that's why I say that he is a great speaker here. Sugato is also an orator. So Sugato can also be interpreted as an orator. So he's a great orator. So he choose the right words, the right time in such a way that benefit the listener. the Buddha was a master of that. The Buddha outspoken Satchaka was a great debater at that time when nobody could challenge him. He invited the Buddha for a debate. Refer to Jayamangala Gatha. This is more my own, I think. Okay. So that is why I use that, brother. So Sugato can also mean that orator. He's a great orator. So Buddha, our problem now is Buddha. So Buddha, here we merely say that he's a person who's enlightened and fully realized the Four Noble Truths in the 12 modes and expect. Okay, what does that mean? I told you, he never claimed to be a Buddha.
Brother Tan,
Yeah.
can I add something to Buddha?
Yes. Yeah.
Sama Sambuddha is the quality the Buddha achieved realizing the Four Noble Truths. Okay, there is a Sama Sambuddha. Sama Sambuddha is a perfectly enlightened Buddha. Whereas Buddha has one additional features, that is, a Buddha is an enlightened Buddha, has the capability to help to enlighten other beings to get enlightenment. Buddha
Okay, very good.
has
Okay.
one additional special quality. A Buddha means he has the capability of awakening other beings.
Okay.
Buddha. That word.
Okay. Very
Brother
good.
Kelvin, I thought it's the other way around. Buddha is the enlightened one. Sama Sambuddha is the one with the extra capability.
Okay, very good.
I don't know.
But the book that I read say the Sama Sambuddha. This is written by a monk in US. He's a Sri Lankan monk, and he says Sama Sambuddha is a perfectly enlightened Buddha. That means a person who has that special quality, who knows the Four Noble Truths. But Buddha has the word Buddha, we describe this person with this additional capability of awakening other beings. Not that the Sama Sambuddha cannot do, it is the same. The two words actually interchange, very close. But Buddha as a word signifies that the capability of awakening other beings.
Okay, I'll put it in enlightenment and I can is capable of helping others to enlightenment Okay, Brother Kevin. Brother Kevin. Are you still
Yeah,
there?
okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think okay. It shows the difference. I agree. Okay, Ken. Because what you're saying is Sama Sambuddha is it is the quality. It is the quality that he is fully enlightened on his own and no teachers, nobody help him, and his theory all by himself. And then again, when they say the Buddha means he is also capable of helping others to be enlightened. Okay, okay, fine, but okay, it can mean you can put it on the other side, but show the difference now. Okay, yeah, okay, brother. Percaya, okay, enjoy.
Okay.
Anyway, many of these are all in the commentaries. Commentary sometimes it varies from writers to writers. It may vary. But sometimes I do come across all these but I try to make it, I simplify it sometimes I always like to simplify things easier for us to understand. Okay. So, any more questions? Brother, okay with this,
Brother, just now you mentioned the 31 plane of existence, Asanya Satta, is it?
Yeah, Asanya Loka, yeah, okay, yeah.
That is the realm of mindless beings.
Yeah, mindless, the body only, yes.
Only your body,
yeah.
there's no mind.
Yeah.
It's suspended, only the body.
Yes. You see, what happened is those days, people will punish their body. I mean, during the time of the Buddha, they always blame the body to be the cause of all unwholesome activities. So they punish the body, they focus only on the mind, So the mind goes somewhere else, the body goes somewhere else. So the mind is that they go to Arupa, I guess, They go to Arupa Loka, then the mind remains there, no body. But there are people also who focus only on the mind without understanding the body, That's what the argument the Buddha had with Saccaka. You read carefully, So they only talk about the mind and they forgot the body. So the body remains, So that is why you go to Asanya realm. Asanya realm is not a very good realm because you just have the body with no mind. So they're only waiting for the consciousness to come and, when they can match with one consciousness, then they get a rebirth. That's the only way out. That's the only way out. They need to have consciousness to come. Yeah. Okay. So if there are no more questions, we call it a night because it's way past 10 o'clock. We can give ourselves 5 minutes more. There's no problem, I guess. If there's nothing else, then we will just call it a night. And then we'll meet you. I will share with you the date of you. But I think 4 weeks time, because I'll be away for about 3 weeks or so. So we meet 4 weeks after this. Sorry for the disruption, actually.
Brother Tan, tonight will be actually the last evening until you come back for weeks time.
Yes. Then we come back, we will do the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta.
Yeah, because according to schedule, July 26th July will be the next lesson next Wednesday.
So
that will be cancelled. Okay.
Yeah. For 4 weeks, we cancel. We defer for 4 weeks because I made a mistake. I did not. I when I started this, I forgot that I need to join my family for holidays. So
okay. Happy holiday.
Sorry.
Safe and happy holiday.
Okay, so before that, we will just close with some dedication. So, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, for the past hour and 40 minutes, we have been revisiting the life of the Buddha. We've got very good discussion, very good Dhamma sharing. And I'm sure during such time, our mind stayed focused and our mind was free from greed, free from hatred, free from delusion. And during such time, we have abundance of merit, and these merits will dedicate to all our protective devas. And we hope that they will rejoice in these merits, and they too will eventually attain the perfect bliss of Nibbana. And by virtue of these merits, may they continue to bless us with good health, longevity, success, happiness, prosperity, and above all, wisdom to continue to walk the Buddha's path. Let us also recall to mind the names of our loved ones who are no more with us. We hope that if they are born on the celestial planes, they too will rejoice in these merits, and they will shower unto all of us here the choicest blessings and protection. And our aspiration, as always, may we be blessed with company of the good and the wise always. May we not follow the ways of the foolish. May we be blessed with good friends and good teachers who can guide us along the path of the Dhamma until we reach our final liberation, Nibbana. Ettavata chammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe satta sabbe bhuta anumodantu sappa sampati settiya idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.